Pretty much before I started Neo, and I decided, look, I need to know how to fly.
Hustling, in essence, is about being innovative, being on the ground, understanding how the market works, understanding how the ground is like, so that you can make, you can make profit. You own aeroplanes, you have an airline.
Yeah.
Tell us that story behind Neo Aviation. Well, welcome to the next episode of the LeadingSelf Podcast. My name is Gugulethu Maqetuga and I'm your host. As I say all the time, this podcast was started to celebrate leadership, to profile leaders who are making an impact, and this includes leaders in executive positions, but those also who are entrepreneurs. Today we have one such, an entrepreneur who is making amazing inroads into the aviation industry. His name is Thokozani Miya. He's our trailblazer today. Thokozani, welcome.
Hey, morning, Baba.
Sipilile, Baba. Sipilile. How are you?
I'm great, yeah.
Awesome. And thank you for honoring us with your presence.
Oh, thank you very much. I was hoping there was going to be some breakfast.
Well, and that's the cost of having a recording midday.
Right.
So, Mr. Miya, you have been you're one of the few black entrepreneurs in the aviation industry. What pricked your interest to get into this sector?
I really don't know, but I think growing up, I grew up in Pietermaritzburg, by the way. You always seeing a helicopter, a plane crossing by or flying by. You'd be like, one day, But I think it's the whole passion started when I started traveling internationally. When I used to work for an international company, and I was like, maybe I could become a pilot.
Wow!
But at the time, I was already pretty much old, so I thought maybe I should start something. Yeah. So that's how actually I started. Yeah.
And the interest actually in owning aeroplanes, because I mean you're not only an agent in the aviation industry, as you say, also you're not a pilot per se, but you own airlines. You own aeroplanes. You have an airline.
Yeah.
Tell us that story behind Neo Aviation.
Yeah. Look, Neo started, like I would say, in 2011. At the time, actually, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just exploring different things, and then I was just doing research. I think pretty much before I started Neo, and I decided, look, I need to know how to fly. And then I think 2010, I registered myself to do PPL. But it was more of trying to research, how the industry works.
Okay.
I started reading, doing research, and then obviously I came across this research by NASA, National Aeronautical.
Yeah, the NASA, the U.S. Space Agency.
Yeah. But it was about air taxis.
Air taxis.
Yeah. It's quite an old research. I think it was done in the 80s. So in the US, there were just a lot of traffic in big hubs, like the big airports. So they were trying to reduce those traffic into smaller hubs.
Okay.
So they came up with a concept, air taxi.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, this could be something I could do. And there was guys in the US that they were doing in Atlanta. And then I reached out to the guys. I think the company used to call Imagine Air. I think for me, it was more of like I wanted to interest them to partner with me so that we can start it in South Africa. The guys are like, cool, come over, visit us. And then I packed my bag off to Atlanta.
Okay.
in the US. They were based in Lawrenceville, right? So I was staying in Buckhead, and then I would take like a taxi go to Lawrenceville. It's like Makaya, but pretty much. Yeah, so I spent the time there with guys, I think for a week or so, and I was just looking at what they were doing. So they had about, I think, 6 of serious aircraft at a time. They were quite busy, right?
Wow.
So they're flying from small airports to obviously bigger airports. Pretty much, if you look in South Africa, we've got what they call a golden triangle.
Okay.
So you've got Howard Tambo, you've got Cape Town and Durban. So that's a golden triangle.
Oh, I was going to include Lanseria, but when it's actually it's national.
Yeah, so that's how, because those were the
big hubs.
The big hubs. But now if you think of someone who's Rustenburg or Polokwane and so forth, those guys have to travel all the way to Howard Tambo to catch a flight to the national. So you need to find ways of how you can connect those guys, right? But obviously, I mean, now Airlinks and Cam Air are doing that. But yeah, so the guys were literally just doing that, picking up the guys from small hubs to big hubs and so forth, yeah. And then, I asked them, so, man, I want to start this thing, so you guys want to come? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. So they were planning, they were actually want to do it in, expand in Brazil.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, no, so go speak to the guys who manufacture the aircraft, the serious aircraft. Then I packed the bags. I went to Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay. In other states, that when you think of the US, we sometimes think of it in the context of our own country. It's actually a huge territory. It's a continent.
Actually, it's like I was going to, what is that Afrikaans town?
Orania.
Yeah, Orania. It felt like that when I got there. Yeah. Then when I got there, one of the director, he's like, so what do you want to do? I tell him, no. He looks at me. He's like, okay, cool. Let's have beer. Meet me. I'll come and pick you up from the hotel. We went beer. We were just talking. He's looking at me. He's like, so, what do you want to do? So I'm planning these things. He's like, okay, cool. Tomorrow there's an executive meeting, the board meeting, whatever. So come and talk to the guys there. So I went. They told the guys, this is what I want to do. They look at me. They're like, okay, so there's a guy we know in South Africa. He's one of our reseller of these aircraft. So we're gonna see if we can partner with him. We can offer you some sort of like a lease aircraft at the beginning. Yeah, so that's how
it kicked off. Wow.
Yeah.
Before we get to the nuts and bolts of the airline industry and Neo Aviation, you were born in Pietermaritzburg.
Yeah.
Mgungundlovu.
Yeah, that's actually where I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us about the early days.
Yeah. So I come from a family of diviners. So
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my mom was supposed to be a diviner, Sangoma.
Yeah.
But she didn't take up the calling.
Wow.
But my great mother the great mother, right, was a diviner.
Okay.
And her dad was a traditional healer, big traditional healer.
Okay.
And then my on my paternal side, my great father was a traditional healer in Matulin. Right, King in Matulin.
Yeah.
And I think he married one of the daughter as well, the king's daughter. And he had a lot of cows. So they used to pay him
in cattle
and stuff. And then my grandfather, my mom's father, he comes from he's a Tuvan, spiritual
messengers.
Yeah. And then he was like an informal farmer. So he had cows, and stuff. So as growing up as boys, we needed to look after the cows, milking the cows.
Yeah.
But one thing that he didn't want us to do, to go to, Tata Ingoma Edipin.
Okay.
To
cleanse.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It was like, no, you can't go there. We were like, but why? And then, so he used to work as well. At the time, I think he works for like okay bazaar or something,
Okay.
checkout
Okay.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Escottville.
Okay.
So then we will sneak out when he's gone. Then we find out why he didn't want us to go there, because there were a lot of stick fighting
Oh.
when you get there. So while you're waiting for the ED flip, then you had stick
fights and
fighting
everything.
stuff, you know, they'd be like, yeah, you. So obviously the badge of honor if you unengos and stuff. So my grandfather used to say, you know, just go to school.
Okay. He pushed education.
Yeah, he pushed education. So
nice.
I felt he treated me differently.
Okay.
I think. I think that's the reason why I'm called Thokozani.
Thokozani.
So my mom was in labor for 14 hours, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
Special child.
Yeah. Apparently, or something like that. Yeah. So and then at some point there, my mom decided, okay, we're going to Joburg, and then we ended up
in Soweto. Okay, because Soweto then started to provide for you a very firm foundation in terms of where you are at today, in terms of your thinking, in terms of your orientation. Yeah.
So when we came to Soweto, I think late in the 80s, we obviously stayed with my aunt, and my aunt's husband used to own a couple of taxis.
Okay.
Skip, but we skip.
Yeah.
And he when built heads where I got tips in the, you know. So I used to say, yeah, no, can I come and wait for you? He's like, no. You know, I'm like, no. Then my aunt was like a very business type of person, right? So obviously she had 2 taxis. I don't know whether he had a couple of wives, but I never asked how we are at that time. So he was hardly at home, you know. So my aunt had 2 taxis.
Okay.
And then I would ask my aunt if I could go and pick up the drivers, and like, she's like, oh, do you know how to drive? Yeah. And then in the morning I would start the taxis, go pick up the drivers, come back, and so forth. And then also, Gary weekends, let's say church gatherings and whatever, she would go and buy stuff, and then she would give me to sell.
Wow.
So that's how it started.
Okay. So that especially the entrepreneurial fervor to understand money, to understand the taxi industry becomes a very, it's either in your family situation you have a shop, spaza shop, or a small shop, or you have a taxi business, and that brings you closer to having a relationship with money and understand what money is.
I mean, also to make deals. I suppose, So I think later on there was these things, street bashes, kokas. We've once we were doing those, you know, to raise money, you know. And I remember one of the friends, Kubo Bebe on a bottle store. So we'll try and strike a deal that we'll get the beers, sell them, and come back and sell. And I mean, pay later. Yeah, so that's how.
Wow. Hustling started then.
Yes, hustling started.
And you know, funny thing is that I speak to a lot of people, and when you start talking about hustling, there's negative connotation to the term because of what I suppose it has come to represent today. But hustling, in essence, is about being innovative, being on the ground, understanding how the market works, understanding how the ground is like, so that you can make profit even in that environment.
I think it's all about identifying opportunity. I mean, Mangena in June, we had a English teacher then. She used to buy papers like Sowetan and multiple other papers, and then she would make us read. And after that, she would be like, so what did you see? Wow. But she was actually trying to teach us, when you read the newspaper, you must always try and identify opportunities. Wow. You know, so that's how.
Where are those teachers today, guys? Please,
Miss Pagama, she was very short.
Wow.
So she was like, read the newspaper, but try and identify opportunities. So a lot of the things that I've done, it's just obviously
based on those foundations.
Yeah.
Funny, I mean, you talk about your grandparents being in the cattle business, diviners, but also in business.
Yeah.
And did that did that also have a solid impact on you about owning your own things as opposed to, managing other people's things?
Yeah, I suppose when you grow up, growing up in that type of environment, you're being taught to, build wealth, take care of family, and stuff. Yeah, I think it was a very great foundation for such
great.
things. Yeah.
When your entrepreneurial journey didn't start in aviation, you have had different businesses that you have run. Tell us about that journey in your early entrepreneurial ventures.
Actually, my first formal business was a franchise. I was 28 years old. I used to own sausage subbing, that hot dog. Like they've got a couple in the malls.
Yeah.
It was at Albertine Mall. So there's Albertine City, and then there was Albertine Mall. Mine was just in Albertine Mall. I remember there was 8 guys in front of my shop. So that's where it started. It was 2002.
Okay.
Somehow I got money from Upside, and then I bought that franchise. So that's how it started. And one of the great lessons there, when you making money and then you think of buying shoes and cars and stuff, but cash flow used to be a problem. My shop used to be busy. Is it Katlehong, I think? Yeah.
Katlehong.
Yeah.
Albertine Katlehong, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the challenges I had there was, the hot dogs were just over 12 rand plus Coke. You add, it's like 15 rand. I think the Coke was 250 at the time. So my market was different. It was mostly like white people coming over during over the weekend.
Yeah.
During the week, I was just struggling to sell. And then front opposite my shop, there was King Pie. King Pie at the time, the pie was selling about 450.
Okay.
Coke, it's 450, I think. So that means if you've got 10 rand, you have a meal. But now if you come to my shop, if you don't have a 10, if you've got a 10 rand, you can't really buy anything. Then I came up with what they call a chip roll. So you've got a roll, and then you put the chips, and then you put the sauces and whatever. Yeah. I see now the guys have got that. So I told the guys at the hotel, this sausage salon, that I want to do this. They're like, I know, try it.
Go for it.
Yes, man. I remember I was working for Telkom at the time.
Yeah.
Coming back during lunchtime. Yeah. There's a queue. Wow. People buying these things. And then I can see the owner of the King Pie, the guy who used to own a bottle store or something, they're standing there.
They're watching you.
They're like, do you want to sell this and buy yourself a BMW? I'm like,
oh my word.
Have you seen that BMW park outside? It's mine. Anyways, so that's but obviously, I didn't know the concept of, cash flow, days, whatever. You start having issues and so forth. But it was a great lesson.
A learning moment.
Yeah, learning moment.
And then you moved to manufacturing and.
Oh yeah, then traveling. Then I started guesses, man. We never used to have quality good clothes in South Africa. When you go to Europe, Zara then, guess, man, I want to start this thing. Then I wanted to start my own clothing brand. I used to call it Cyril T.
Okay, so, Cyril T.
Yeah, my other name is Cyril.
T I see.
Thokozani,
yes.
So I used to call it Cyril T. But I quickly realized that, starting a brand, it's going to take me years.
Yeah.
Then I moved more into corporate clothes. So what I saw was, corporate clothes, when they give you a golf t-shirt, it just look saggy and stuff. And I was like, I want to make them look fitted and so forth. Yeah, it was quite a good run.
Wow.
Eventually, with Cyril T, actually, there were a couple of things that we did. There was a floating boutique Pulsate. Pulsate, it used to be in Sandton and Manland. We also supplied them with clothes.
Wow.
And there was a TV show, SABC, I think it was Live TV
show. Live, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the lady.
Yeah, you supplied them as well.
Yeah, we did those clothes there. So You Think You're Funny. David Gow,
Yeah.
Thomas used to wear our t-shirts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That you say something very interesting about being an entrepreneur, also understanding doing your own SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
To say, if I own a brand, it's going to take me a long time to embed the brand in the market. So let me shift and supply what the market wants.
Yeah.
And for me, it's flexibility and agility. Do you think that that's what probably makes great entrepreneurs? It's also being flexible.
Yeah, I think you just have to keep on checking what's out there, the trends and whatever. Because with Cyril T, it changed into an online store.
Yeah.
Right. Funny, I used to sell men's underwear and socks.
Okay.
Specifically, right?
Okay.
And then I approached Dolce Gabbana. I used to buy men's underwear from Dolce, and then Ben Chemin as well, and Bringle. The distributor was somewhere here in Joburg. And then what was funny about that concept, it was mostly women buying. The market was only women.
For men's underwear?
Men's underwear.
Okay.
And then one time there was this lady, she's a doctor, she was in East London, and she was a white woman. I was like, nah, I need to phone this lady because she buys, those underwear is like a pair of underwear was like 400 rand, 500. Wow. They even go to like 1,000. Wow. Then I phoned this lady. I'm like, who are you buying? It was like, you buying? I know I'm buying for my brothers and whatever. These guys might just wear nice underwear. Oh, right. Yeah. There was this thing that I used to like about. Traveling, you are in South Africa, you are just exposed to same type of underwear. You go overseas, there's like these different. That's
right.
Yeah.
Different types of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You seem to be an entrepreneur that goes for the elite type products and not necessarily like you did like you grew up in the taxi space, but you decided to go for the airlines. You're always pushing the bar higher.
Yeah, look, I like to be different, but I also if you do start something that is having had above product, it tends to do well.
Wow, nice. Thokozani, you told us about your entry into the aviation space.
Yeah.
But there's, I was reading when we're doing research, you're talking about how long it took you to gain a license to operate. Potential about 4 years or something. Wasn't it easy at that time to give up and say, well, 4 years, this thing is not coming. Maybe year 2, you look at this thing and says, I'm doing proposals, I'm submitting, I'm hiring, lawyers and all those kind of people to prepare papers for you. Nothing is happening. Wasn't it easy for you to say, that's it?
Yes, man. I hate giving up. That's my problem. So once I start something, I just want to see it finish. So I think also it was knowledge. I didn't know much about, going about the whole license application. I met the lawyer. I think they were down here in Randburg. They're like, yeah, no, we can do the license for you. And then they just keep on taking money. Then one time I decided, I'm just going to go to these guys.
Where was the money coming from to pay for all these things? Were you taking from other businesses to fund your salary,
so
Telcom to go and fund?
I've actually always done that. You work, you run a business, and then you think of a concept, and then I'll start putting money towards that concept, research, and so forth.
So you transition nicely.
Yeah. It was, I think for me it was intentional. Because I think when I left, actually when I used to work with Photo, I decided I'm going to become a contractor. But what I did initially, I did computer science, computer system and engineering at school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My first job was at Neo. We used to do Y2K projects.
Yeah, I remember that time crossing
In
over
fact,
to 2000.
the concept of Neo started in, I'll say, when I started working for Dinell. And then under Dinell, there was a company called Davis IT Services. It used to be IT services for Chrysler brands.
Okay.
Now it's called T-System.
Oh, yes.
In that company, we used to do Y2K project, obviously. And one of other project was CNA. We used to do point of sales.
Okay.
So we go to all the stores installing point of sales. So they used to have a lab in Jetpack. So we'll go there, set up the point of sales, and then they get distributed to different stores. And then you have to drive around now to go and install these point of sales. So one of the driving I did, I drove from here to Hazyview, Bumalanga. Then from there, I had to go to Richards Bay, Devon. And I was sitting, I'm like, I'm sure you could fly or something.
Yeah.
That was way back, 99, if I'm not mistaken. But then I didn't do much about it up until obviously 2011.
Yes.
And I was like, hey man, there was this problem that I thought of.
Then,
yeah.
But tell me though, I mean, for me, I'm still stuck on this 4-year wait.
Oh yeah.
Are regulators backing small players to get into the sector? I mean, 4 years, if you are a big, deep pocket airline, you can wait. But for a young entrepreneur from Emden, to wait 4 years, isn't that crippling though?
Yeah, look, I think it could be twofold. So one would be the limitation of people that can own the license to operate within space, as well as the knowledge at the time. So I wasn't really savvy about how the whole aviation works.
Okay.
Yeah. And up until I met the lady that used to work for Department of Transport, and they were in that specific area. So what happens, you apply with Department of Transport, right? So you supply them with big file like this, and then they'll review the file, and then it goes to a gazette for 3 months, right? So everyone can comment about who's this guy, whatever the case may be. After that, you get called in, and you meet the committee to approve your license. So obviously they're going to ask you a couple of questions. But once you're done there, they give you, or if they grant you a license, they will give you what they call a service license.
Okay.
Either domestic or international. Right? So then I was granted a domestic license. With domestic license, it does allow you to fly within SADC. But I was not allowed to operate as yet.
You got the license, but you can't operate.
That's and
that's normal.
Yeah,
that's normal course.
Yeah, it's a normal. And then you then have to go to CAA, Civil Aviation Authority. Then they have to give you what they call an AOC, an operating certificate, right? That's where the problem starts then, because they work. I mean, it's a 5-phase approach. So obviously, you have to have personnel, right? The placeholders. There'll be accountable manager, there'll be an ops manager, a pilot in command, or whatever you call it. SMS, of which it's safety, security, and so forth, right? And then quality. So you have to have these people placed.
Okay.
Right?
In your team. Before you can even say I'm launching.
Yes.
Okay.
And then from there, they look at your crew, the pilots, and so forth. And then they look at your aircraft, the maintenance, the manuals.
Wow.
And then they look at your operations.
Yeah.
How you're going to operate. So you have to also have these manuals.
Yeah.
And then obviously the feed wagon, this other, like your training and so forth.
Yeah.
So obviously I wasn't really savvy until obviously
I see. Now I understand that, you actually had to also go through your own university. Of
Yeah.
understanding how the airline business works.
Exactly.
I see.
And then, then I was that's 2016, because the whole application I started to do 2012, whatever. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Then 2016, I think they got a domestic license.
Yeah.
Then I had to go through. So actually, it should take you like 18 months.
Okay.
But I think they limit.
Okay.
So that's a value of having the license.
Nice.
So it's not easy to get.
Yeah. So now you have an airline business.
Yeah.
You have, tell us how over the years, how many planes have you owned, past and present, but also what destinations are you doing? I mean, are you doing international now, or are you still domestic as in continental? What's the story there?
So within the aviation space, I mean, people always think airline, right?
Okay.
So yes, there's what they call airline, of which it's part 121. That's schedule, right? So you have these big aircraft, and then I run what they call part 125, of which is non-schedule, right? So you've got small up to big aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's quite different.
Okay.
So airline, they run from one destination to the next. It's scheduled. Whether the aircraft is full or not, it has to fly.
It has to go.
Yeah. But part 135, it's non-scheduled. So you book tomorrow, I want to fly wherever. There's no specified destination or routes. You can fly to any route, right? So that's basically how it works.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so we started with a lease aircraft, and then eventually I think we bought 2 more aircraft and so forth. Yeah.
Wow. And as you say, because it's non-scheduled, is it private clients? Is it corporate clients? Is it the new money, Ekasi? Thokozani, I'm having a big thing happening in Mauritius. Send me there.
So with obviously within the part 135 of it is chartered, right? So you get like your big jets, people with big money. So I want to fly from here to Dubai, you pay 1.5 million or whatever the case may be. So for us, it was more short distance. Our target was mostly, I used to say I'm selling time to people.
Okay.
Because one of the clients, the first client actually that got us into trouble, I will speak about that now. So they were in an insurance company. So they had, I think they will have to go to, used to go to Polokwane, for example, for meetings. So that means if you go to a meeting a day before, if you've got a meeting tomorrow at 8, then you're going to have to drive today in the afternoon to go there, sleep at the hotel, wake up, go to a meeting, and then it would be tired.
Yeah.
So you spend 3 days, one client. So for me, it was more of like I'm saving you time. So you could go today, see your client, and then you can go and see another client in Mafeking and so forth, then come back. There was another client as well in Durban, in they sell makeups, whatever. So they would climb on the Kulula aircraft, come to Lanseria, jump into our aircraft. We take them to different
shorter distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're a doctor
Remote.
as well. Yeah. If you're a doctor as well, with obviously, you've got what you call the doctor's offices in different areas.
Yes.
You could do that as well.
Okay. Is the airline business profitable? Every time people start talking about airlines as a business, I just panic because I see stories of SAA and other airlines shutting down. Is it or is it how you manage it?
Yeah, look, airlines, they're quite different, right? So there's what they call low-cost airline, of which the configuration is all economic, like Safair and the Kululas or whatever, and then you got what they call full service. Full service, it's different configurations. So you've got the first class, you've got business,
Economic.
Low cost, the margins are very low, right? Anything between 3 to 8%, right?
Okay.
Especially if there's competition. If you look at when Mango, Klula, and all of these guys were operating, you could catch a flight to Cape Town for $2,000 return, right? But now you can't. It's because there's no competition, right? And when you come to the full service, airlines don't really make money on the economic side of things. They will make money on the business class.
Okay.
But then they will add other auxiliary income as well, like your underbelly, cargo, and so forth. So you look at
and the food now, because now they walk around with those credit card machines and make money from selling. Yeah.
So from the airline perspective, not really. But if you go on the charter side of things, you could make 15, 20, even 20%.
Okay.
Because now it's non-scheduled, different routes. The routes are different and so forth.
Okay.
So depend.
So it's a different business model altogether.
Yeah. Then there's other models where they are called ACMI, aircraft crew maintenance, insurance, bespoke. So I own aircrafts.
Yeah.
And then you start an airline, and then I lease the airline to you. Then I can lease the the aircraft to you for about $10,000 an hour. Right? And but I say to you, I need 100 hours a month.
Okay.
Right? So if you times that $10,000,
okay,
you
can make some serious. Okay.
Yeah.
Safety is another big element when it comes to the airline business. I mean, you also manage, as you say, like I don't know whether you call them smaller flights or small aircraft. Yeah. But I saw a video where you were saying that actually the aircraft that you were introducing had a parachute or something like that.
Yeah. So that's one of the safe feature, and that's the reason I guess we got the license at the time. Because the aircraft is just a single piston engine, right? It's one engine. But most airlines, if you look at them, they've got two engines.
Yeah,
right?
And the big ones have more.
Yeah. So if one engine fails, you've got another engine that will keep the aircraft flying, right? So what the aircraft the series, what it has, it's got a parachute. So if the engine fails, you could pull the lever inside the plane, and then it hangs the aircraft in the air up to safety. So it's one of the safest.
Wow, nice. I mean, I have a friend who literally refuses to get onto a plane. He was a journalist, and he would probably when he could have taken an hour or 2 hours to get to a destination, he'd leave the night before and drive. What do you say to people like that who literally have a phobia of flying?
Flying is one of the safest, right? So think about it. A day in Joburg, how many accidents are there? Car accident, and people that are dying. In a day, millions of flights would take off with no accident, right? Or no crashes. So flying is one of the safest. It's just that obviously people are fearful of flight, of height, and so on. But it's one of the safest.
And I know you don't want to get into other people's businesses and stories, but I'm more interested in how Ethiopian Airlines, when you look at the aviation industry as a whole in Africa, I'm interested how Ethiopian Airlines have turned this thing around. I mean, they are probably one of the best now scheduled, well run.
Look, it's all about well run.
Yeah, it's management, eh?
Yeah, it's management.
It's leadership.
It all comes down to management, leadership, as well as what you guys want to achieve.
Yeah.
The SAA it's was well run.
Yeah.
So it comes down to those elements.
Yeah, but someone can say also that the challenges that SAA could potentially have given space for entrepreneurs like yourself to come into the space. We have these other low costs now that are big players in the space. Would you say that then sometimes these challenges create opportunities?
Obviously, yeah. I think if you see that opportunity, yes, you can get into. I mean, aviation is one of the high barrier entry, obviously. So for me to get into that space, obviously you need a couple of bucks. If they're already competition in there, especially if you're gonna be in the schedule side of things, right? Man, you're gonna face those guys that are already in there, and they'll try and just reduce the price, ticket price, and then they would just take you out of the market. Yeah.
As we get into the tail end of our conversation, what would you say are your hopes for Neo Aviation? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? Are we likely to see you go into the scheduled part as a big player, or are you niche and you're happy?
I'm not sure because I think Neo has moved from passenger side of things to more cargo.
Oh.
So when Neo started, I think we were approached by like a security company. I won't mention the name. And then we started moving valuable goods.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what carried us through COVID as well. Then post-COVID, then we started just doing more of obviously those available goods. Right. So I've seen that in Africa, there's huge opportunity as well
for cargo.
For cargo,
Yeah.
I think in Kenya they're building like a big factory for cargo and so forth. So for me, I'm leaning more into doing cargo, specialized cargo and so forth, right? So I wouldn't be sure if I'll be coming into more schedule, but yeah, it's more on the.
It's more the specialist, the niche area, the service area.
Exactly.
Wow. And the future of Black participation in the aviation industry. What are your thoughts?
For me, I don't know. If I'll always go back to, if you see the opportunity,
go for it. Yeah.
Right. Read up as much as possible, do your planning, and you go for it.
Wow.
So that's mainly my thinking. Yeah.
Wow, Thokozani, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. And I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. Also because for me it's the journey of entrepreneurship more than the space that you end up in. Yeah, because I'm of the view that as a country we need more entrepreneurs, and I think the more we have, the better value we are going to offer to customers. But that's how we're going to build this economy. It's when guys like you decide, you know what, I'm not giving up, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do it again. If I find hurdles, I'll do it again.
Exactly.
And you get it to happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for calling me. Yeah.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. As we say, like, share, subscribe. Salute.